This is about the future of refractive surgery, not the technological innovations or what we do as refractive surgeons. It's about the specialty and who we are. If you identify as a refractive surgeon, it would be fair to say that you believe your area of expertise is the specialty of refractive surgery. Would it surprise you to know that refractive surgery has never been listed or considered as a specialty or even a subspecialty by organized ophthalmology or the American Board of Medical Specialties? According to MarketScope, over 10 million people in the US have had LASIK. But while they know what LASIK is, only a few in a million people know what a refractive surgeon is. There is no existing credentialing process for refractive surgery, no standardized curriculum, no accreditation of fellowships or facilities, and not even a certification process for refractive surgeons. Branding, different from advertising, is what the general public thinks you are. So if we identify ourselves as refractive surgeons, then we have a serious branding problem. And if we think we specialize in refractive surgery, then we are a specialist without a specialty. This presentation is not about technological innovation in refractive surgery, it's about cultural and academic innovation in refractive surgery. It's also about having an identity and a home for our specialty. It's about what we value. Refractive surgery can change the way that people see the world. Our company will change the way the world sees refractive surgeons. Our company, the World College of Refractive Surgery and Visual Sciences, is a social benefit corporation that will establish refractive surgery as a standalone ophthalmic specialty through the development of an internationally recognized set of standards in curriculum, fellowship accreditation, and certification in refractive surgery, in order to increase the availability of refractive surgeons worldwide to match the global demand for refractive vision correction in the developed world, as well as address our social responsibility to meet the needs of over 1 billion people globally who suffer from the two leading causes of preventable blindness: unaddressed refractive error and cataract. It may be surprising to you that neither the American Board of Medical Specialties or the AAO even list refractive surgery as a subspecialty. There has been a long-standing bias against refractive surgery training in ophthalmology. In general ophthalmology, there is no recognition of a standard curriculum, no recognized accreditation of fellowship programs, and no equivalence of a board certification for the specialty of refractive surgery. While we have excellent teachers in refractive surgery, there are relatively few private fellowships available for training. Refractive surgery has been marginalized, and participation in refractive surgery courses, lectures, and webinars is arbitrarily left up to the doctor because refractive surgery has not been treated as a specialty by organized ophthalmology. The established paradigm shift after the pandemic of 2020 has been the demise of large in-person meetings, which have become less relevant, in favor of smaller, high-quality meetings and the rise of virtual programming in education and ophthalmology. While there is an abundance of available education and training, it isn't organized or coordinated. There is no single organization representing refractive surgery as in other specialties. This creates the problem of making education and training in refractive surgery more fragmented and arbitrary, with a lack of collaboration between different programs, meetings, and organizations. The lack of available training for refractive surgeons worldwide is the root cause of our inability to adequately meet the demand for cash-pay refractive surgery and address the needless tragedy of preventable vision loss globally. In the United States, there are 27,000 ophthalmologists, but less than 3,500 of these identify as refractive surgeons. Unaddressed refractive error and cataract make up over 90% of the global causes of preventable blindness, yet only 12% of ophthalmologists practice refractive surgery. In the developing world, the availability of refractive surgery is even worse. In low-income countries, there are only 3.7 ophthalmologists per 1 million people, and only one refractive surgeon per 3 million people. With such a huge demand for their services, it's impossible to correct this imbalance with the present system, because the data clearly indicates that present training for refractive surgery and ophthalmology is woefully inadequate to address the major causes of preventable blindness globally in both the developed and the developing world. According to Access Economics, the global cost of visual impairment is over $3 trillion. There are over 65 million cataracts that need surgery and 1 billion people with unaddressed refractive errors. There are also 2.5 billion people who need glasses but are unable to get them because there is no available market. Glasses have been around for 700 years and are cheap, but the difficulties in supplying glasses to the undeveloped world has not solved the problem of preventable blindness. With vision correction surgery as our only viable alternative, the need for a cost reduction of over $3 trillion from eliminating vision impairment has developed into an enormous market need. The World College of Refractive Surgery, or the WCRS, was launched as a physician-led solution to solve these problems by establishing refractive surgery as a standalone specialty. As an established specialty, we will have the credentialing process, accreditation of existing programs, and creation of training opportunities. The WCRS will promote the expansion of refractive surgery and increase the number of refractive surgeons worldwide. As a for-profit international hybrid benefit corporation, the WCRS also has a non-profit foundation arm for addressing social responsibility. The core ideology of the WCRS is that vision correction should be a basic right for humanity, and refractive surgery should be established as the primary tier alternative for vision correction instead of the use of prosthetic devices such as glasses and contacts. Increasing the availability of trained refractive surgeons worldwide will meet growth in the demand for refractive surgery in the developed world and address the need for refractive surgery in the developing world. The WCRS will oversee and develop the curriculum for core competencies in refractive surgery, as well as the identification and accreditation of fellowship training programs and facilities. We offer a path for both certification and board certification equivalents in refractive surgery to both graduating residents and practicing ophthalmologists. The WCRS will serve as both an umbrella organization for refractive surgery education and training worldwide, and a bolt-on global credentialing platform for refractive surgeons, programs, and facilities. The global need for refractive surgery is a tale of two very different worlds. Social impact is an important part of our mission. The College of Refractive Surgery works with its affiliated non-profit company, the Visual Freedom Foundation, or VFF, to anticipate the need for social impact and bridge the huge gap between the availability of refractive surgery in the developed world and the developing world. In a shared vision with the mission for the World College of Refractive Surgery and Visual Sciences, the Visual Freedom Foundation is a non-profit 501c3 philanthropic company that supports our surgeons and clinics and can work with industry and manufacturers in an ethical manner to restore sight to disadvantaged populations worldwide. We will address the regional and global burden of preventable blindness in both undeveloped and developed countries, and restore the dignity of people by being able to lead productive lives through the availability of refractive surgery. Our foundation is different from others because it will concentrate our efforts to target the area of greatest need for refractive surgery. Full-service eye hospitals are needed, but the VFF will only focus on 90% of the cause of preventable blindness by concentrating on refractive surgery and refractive cataract, which improves operational efficiency, lowers costs, and allows us to be operational at scale at a global level. Demand for contemporary refractive surgery is enormous, and corneal refractive surgery is a huge growth market. Global corneal refractive surgery will have a 3.7% compound growth rate, or CGR, over the next 4 years. Procedures are expected to increase to 5.7 million and patient fees to 9.8 billion in 4 years. As refractive surgeons, we consider all cataract surgery as lens-based refractive surgery. Global premium cataract refractive surgery is expected to increase over 250%, from $7.6 billion to over $19 billion in the next 5 years. Myopia is the most common ocular disorder worldwide and the leading cause of visual impairment in children. Medical management for myopia control will be a market in excess of $50 billion, as over 50% of the New World's population will be myopic by 2050. This progression will greatly impact the future growth of ICLs, LASIK, SMILE, and other refractive procedures for vision correction. While the market opportunities for cash pay initiatives in refractive surgery are impressive, the need for refractive surgery in the developing world is even greater. The Wcrs will work with our affiliated non-profit 501c3 foundation arm, the VFF, to responsibly address the needs of over 1 billion people in developing countries who suffer from the world's 2 leading causes of preventable blindness: unaddressed refractive error and cataract. The Wcrs is positioned to be the leading global force at scale in the $3 trillion refractive surgery and cataract market worldwide. Through social contracts with government, industry, investors, and philanthropy, we will work in cooperative ventures that will produce an economic return on investment for all parties, as well as have a positive social impact that improves the well-being of individuals and communities by enhancing their ability to lead productive lives through vision correction. The Wcrs is a private for-profit hybrid social benefit corporation with an affiliated non-profit foundation arm, VFF, for social responsibility. The Wcrs will develop revenues from investment, stock offerings, membership dues, fees for credentialing, investment in research, and other revenues, including clinical operations, including those for the VFF. The Wcrs will be the operational arm of the Visual Freedom Foundation. The Wcrs is both inclusive and collaborative with ophthalmologists, visual scientists, optometrists, medical executives, technicians, ophthalmic societies, and manufacturers. The Wcrs is creating an entirely new market to meet the global demand for growth in refractive surgery. Education and training have no competition, only collaborators. The Wcrs sets itself apart because it is the only company in the world that is establishing refractive surgery as an internationally recognized, standalone specialty by setting global standards of curriculum, accreditation, of training programs, and certification and board certification of ophthalmologists in the specialty of refractive surgery. Our customers will be refractive surgeons, international ophthalmic associations, societies, and teaching institutions, because our programs will enhance and add value and purpose to their organizations. We will partner with ophthalmic societies and residency programs by uniquely offering a path of standardized and accredited education and training in refractive surgery, as well as certification available for both residents and ophthalmologists in practice. A group of visionary leaders and high-profile refractive surgeons have created the World College of Refractive Surgery and Visual Sciences, or WCRS, as a completely separate company in order to pursue the vision of establishing vision correction surgery as a basic right for humanity, and to establish refractive surgery to its rightful place as a standalone ophthalmic specialty. Born out of decades of experience in teaching programs, webinars, seminars, and creating training modules that were developed in collaboration with many of our ophthalmic societies, our early adoption of virtual programs for teaching and operations has been key to success. Borrowing the assets of that experience to fuel the WCRS has established entrepreneurship and agility into the new company. It's been more than 70 years since the term refractive surgery was coined, and after many lifetimes of those practicing refractive surgery, the time for change has come. Whether to establish refractive surgery as a standalone specialty, to help restore sight to those less fortunate, or to leave a legacy for future generations of refractive surgeons, we are asking you to be part of history. The World College of Refractive Surgery and Visual Sciences was created as a physician-led company so that doctors would be in charge of that destiny. For thousands of years, mankind has looked to the stars in wonder and even been guided by their light to explore new horizons. All of humanity exists under the same heavens. If you choose to be a trustee, founder, member, affiliate, or donor, together we can light the way to a new vision for the world. We invite you to be part of that vision.